My name is Anthony Jurgen. I am the Director of Mobile and Emerging Technologies at INTRIDIEA.
And I'm Jürgen Altsiebler. I'm the Managing Director of User Experience. I would say the healthy area would be like 80-20.
Yeah.
So we're trying to be like 75% billable, which means working on client projects. Which when you do the math, 80% billable or 75 is actually 1 day a week where you do whatever you want. That's actually pretty cool. Like every Friday you build an app with your buddy and whatever you want, and there's no business plan, there's no strategy, you just think this is great and you start building it, and we learn something from it. Sometimes we open source it, we show it to our clients, we show it at conferences. There's always a positive outcome. There's never, oh, this was a waste of time. It just hasn't happened.
I think every project, regardless of, it's really about the concept, concept idea execution,
Right.
and that everybody in the organization needs to experience the level of completion, because some projects are incredibly long, and people play different roles in the projects. So there doesn't feel like a lot of ownership there. But these types of projects, this type of atmosphere, gives them a sense of ownership, gives them a sense of end-to-end, understanding where something started and where something ended. And we also have a very supportive environment managerially, because if some of these apps that come out of this are amazing, and they deserve to be products of INTRIDIEA. So it's training, it's kind of self-motivation, and it's also product or company sustainability.
Right. Of course, I think with the iPhone and iPad, Apple created a new standard how people interact with touch devices, and of course now we all have learned how to swipe, how to zoom out. So as a UX person, it makes total sense to use those standards and not reinvent the wheel, because people know now just by default, without thinking, how to zoom in, how to click a button. And those are really good standards. They make a lot of sense. They feel very natural. You use the app without thinking, and that's the best way. Sometimes we have to go a little bit outside of what Apple has created because something is not covered. But we want to get as close to what Apple did because it will feel natural as well. I think the Microsoft experience, because it's not a touchscreen experience, it's more you wave stuff and a device on the TV will capture that, which is obviously very, very cool because you can play tennis, you can bowl without the classic joystick essentially, and the system just reads it. But I think that's a very different type of interaction versus a touchscreen.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's actually quite a stretch. You hear people talking about, oh, we're going to enable Connect and all these different sort of atmospheres and verticals, and in reality, people don't gesture normally out of the air. It's like, I'm not going to do this because I want pants, or this means I want a scarf, right?
Yeah, right.
So if Connect has its place in gaming, but until someone understands just normal gesturing and can somehow sense intention or want from it, I don't think it has a place anywhere else right now.
Right. I'll tell you, not a positive experience, but somewhat like, what the heck is happening here is like about 4 weeks ago when I saw a TV commercial for Samsung. They have a new tablet that has a stylus. And I saw that, and I really scratched my head. I'm like, we've seen such a revolution in touchscreen over the last 4 or 5 years, going away from touchscreens and making it very natural and not like using a pen. And then now Samsung is coming back into the mix, saying that use a pen and you can draw very fine-tuned things. And it's kind of ironic timing that 2 weeks later the new iPad 3 is coming out. Because of its really high resolution screen, it's also a lot more sensitive. So you can do those very fine-tuned strokes and draw on the iPad 3. So they're not getting it, period.
They're addressing, I think Samsung is addressing the lazy people.
Yeah. The lazy people.
The people who don't want to
take... The PowerPoint people.
No, the people that don't want to take the time to, number one, realize and practice using their fingers as a writing instrument.
Right.
I mean, people say, oh, I've used a pen for all my life, it just feels more natural. Well, they just don't want to move on. I mean, because we're all moving on. And so Samsung says, hey, that's a market.
Yeah. Well, I'm just a little bit...
I agree.
I'm a little bit stunned that they would reintroduce, I mean, we had devices with styluses for almost 10 years before the iPhone. Yeah, I mean, I had a Palm 3 in 98, 99. I had a stylus, so pretty much almost 9 or 10 years, and it was great for its time because the resolution on those things was so weak. Touchscreens wouldn't have worked on those things. But now with the high resolution, it's really, really incredible. And the other thing I want to say is when you watch artists paint, yes, they use a brush, but you wouldn't believe how many times they use their fingers to do stuff on their paintings. Like the most famous artists, just go to YouTube, search for it. You will see their hands covered
They start with
in
the
paint.
brush, but then they move.
They use their fingers for everything. So
It's natural.
it's natural. It's natural, you know. So.